Welcome to this episode of our special series, 7 Minutes with Vivek Sood, Supreme Court Senior Advocate and country's top legal mind, the man who coined the expression, the fundamental right to internet. Today we will discuss the subject, is Supreme Court independent today? Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you.
So straight to the question, just recently, senior advocate, very eminent personality, Mr. Kapil Sibal has said, don't expect justice from Supreme Court. Your views on that, sir?
Mr. Sibal has been at the bar for about half a century. But even I have been at the bar for 3 decades. So in my view, the Supreme Court, even today, is very independent as an institution. I do not agree with Mr. Sibal's view that don't expect justice from the Supreme Court. In other words, the Supreme Court is not an independent institution. I don't agree with him. The Supreme Court hears so many matters every day. In fact, on a Monday and Friday, it hears over 500 cases on a given day. And you have hundreds of cases being heard by the Supreme Court every day. Now to say that you cannot expect justice from the Supreme Court is an overbroad statement. What are you trying to convey? What are you saying? That in each of the cases being heard by the Supreme Court, justice is not being done. So it is an overbroad statement. It is not specific. It is a vague statement in my view. In my view, the Supreme Court is an independent institution. Mr. Sibal appears to be referring to Zakia Jafri verdict, the PMLA verdict, where the Prevention of Money Laundering Act has been upheld. Its constitutional validity has been upheld by the Supreme Court. In the Zakia Jafri's case, the Honorable Prime Minister has been given a clean chit that he had no role whatsoever in the Gujarat riots following the Godhra incident. Now, just because these verdicts are contrary to the expectations of Mr. Sibal, perhaps, that is why this kind of a reaction has come. Now, I must remind Mr. Sibal, what about the sedition law being stayed by the Supreme Court? What about the innumerable orders protecting journalists and citizens from all walks of life, from all religions, from being arrested in these multiple FIRs that are registered on the allegation that religious sentiments have been hurt or sedition has been committed? What about all those verdicts which come in favor of the citizens and against the government, against the state, against the prosecuting agencies? So therefore, in my view, the Supreme Court is an independent institution.
So, from a common man's perspective, how do they know that one statement is holding any weight or not? Are there any parameters that one can look at the independence of our judiciary, the Supreme Court of India?
In my view, rather than picking and choosing a few cases and then making an overbroad statement that the Supreme Court is not an independent institution and you cannot expect justice from the Supreme Court is totally misconceived. You must take a holistic view. The Supreme Court decides hundreds of cases every day, every week, every month. And to say that justice cannot be expected in any of those cases, I mean, is that a statement? So the statement itself is misconceived. Now the parameters for judging the Supreme Court, these are subjective parameters. As citizens, we all have our views. Mr. Sibal has expressed his views. I am expressing my view on the subject. But all said and done, we must take a holistic view of the Supreme Court rather than picking and choosing a few cases. And just because the verdict is contrary to one's expectations, to question the Supreme Court is not done.
Right now, how do you look at these observations, such statement or criticism for the legal system? Because, and that too from a very senior member of the bar.
In my view, the Supreme Court is a great institution. In my view, its independence will not be affected just because a very senior member of the bar of Mr. Sibal's eminence has made such a broad statement. The institution is based on strong foundations, on strong constitutional foundations. So such a statement will not affect the institution, in my view. But definitely, before making such overbroad statements, you must take responsibility, because people should not lose faith in this great institution, the Supreme Court. But having said this, he has a right to his opinion. But I strongly differ with that opinion.
Right, sir. You strongly differ with that opinion. Now, a lot of people will have their own opinions. What do you think will be the opinion or understanding or the way of looking at this by the Supreme Court itself? Will it look at it with contempt?
In my view, it will not amount to contempt of court, because, the right to criticize an institution is part of the freedom of speech and expression. So even if the criticism is harsh, it perhaps will not amount to contempt of court, in my view. I find this view without the backing of facts. And as a lawman, I will go with facts and evidence. So therefore, such a statement is overbroad. The criticism, in my view, is misconceived, though it does not amount to contempt of court, in my view.
Thank you, sir.